So here's to you fighter pilots, victors of the war, that got us all this real estate that's backed up to the shore. And now China's just a word that you read in history, 'cause I'm the motherfucker who started World War III.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to Command, Chains of War. I'm Ebereg, and this is the 1-2 punch. The massive Chinese and later North Korean missile attacks were devastating physically and mentally to the United States and its allies in the Pacific. Critical air-base infrastructure and significant numbers of aircraft were destroyed on the ground on Okinawa, Guam, and the Korean Peninsula, and the Japanese homeland. The forward-based aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan was sunk with thousands lost, and its ruptured reactor was now a looming environmental disaster off Japan. Japanese and South Korean population centers struck by North Korean missiles were overwhelmed, rescuing citizens from crumbling and burning buildings in population centers that most missiles seemed to target. The overall toll was massive, and the modern media had captured most of these events live, and along with social media, broadcast them almost in real time worldwide. The results were destructions of key assets, chaos, panic, and fury. China and her belligerent ally had struck first decisively. China and North Korea did not go unscathed. The American pre-programmed counterattacks had, in many cases, struck, although with the benefit of knowing what was coming, many of the sea-launched Tomahawk missiles were intercepted or the targeted sites were evacuated ahead of time. The citizens of both nations were actually informed of the Tomahawk attacks, but Chinese intelligence shaped the message coming from its controlled media to make it look like it was a preemptive attack by the Americans, which both governments had responded to in a decisive manner. They then stated that the military was now moving to remove the American threat to China and the region completely. The world's reaction to a sudden great war between superpowers was extreme. Most national governments retreated to secure bunkers to gather information and assess their positions. Militaries went to high alert, and in some cases, mobilizations were started. Economic markets sunk to near crash lows, and trade came to a halt. Populations clung to social media and broadcast news, and in some cases actually celebrated the destruction in the streets. The world order was clearly shaken, and nobody knew what it would evolve into. The American military was battered, and cyber and space attacks had commenced, disrupting communications and creating more chaos. One message was received by all, though, and this was, pick yourselves up and get back into the fight. This is where the counterattack begins. So, Command would like me to get the USS Key West and the USS North Carolina safely out to sea and into the fight. I must get both subs to the area marked by reference points V1 through V4 on my tactical map. I have 8 hours to accomplish this task. PLAN knows Apra Harbor is a U.S. submarine base and will likely try and ambush any submarines exiting port before they disappear into the deeps of the greater Pacific. The best assets to do this are mines and submarines. Multiple Chinese Han or Shang-class nuclear attack submarines are the most likely threat given the distances. However, Kilo, Song, or Yuan diesel attack boats could be involved as well. At the Key West, the North Carolina, not the North Dakota, this is obviously a typo, and Task Group Galugan, consisting of a bunch of seagoing drones. Task Group Belugan is a small experimental group currently working on developing tactics to clear the approaches to port of hostile submarines and mines. You are to leverage these assets to get your nuclear boats out to sea. Key West and North Carolina should proceed carefully behind these assets using traditional sprint and drift tactics to get to the marked area. Apra Harbor's exit is to the west. You should proceed out of port in that direction. Let's do this. So, the thing about the North Carolina in the Chains of War campaign is that it's essentially the Enterprise of the Second Pacific War. It's just in so many places, does so many things, and it's a real American hero in this campaign. So let's first set up a few missions. Set these reference points. And new mission, call it mine clearance. It's a mine clearing mission that is active. Turn off the 1/3 rule. Add both of these Nighthawks. Add this mine hunter. And the mine killers aren't much use, but also add the Knifefish. And sonar is indeed active. So let's zoom out. Add these reference points and new mission, call it Subhunt. It's an ASW patrol. Turn off the 1/3 rule. Don't investigate unknown contacts outside the patrol area or within weapons range. Go to non-aircraft setting and tell them to do everything at creep speed and get the ASW hunter and killers on it. Now tell them not to fire at every subsurface contact, and also tell them to turn off their radars. I would tell them to turn on their sonars, but that's just going to attract attention. So let's unpause time and see what happens. Oh, I gotta deactivate the Subhunt mission. Tell North Carolina is stopped. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. It's probably a fish, though it might not be. Oh, it's submarine. Okay. Tell this guy to launch his boat. And tell the Knifefish to go to creep speed. Goblin detected by the Key West. It's biologic. Okay, so we found a mine. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. Get this guy to move here and this guy to move here. Okay. So that mine has been taken out. So we're gonna clear the mine for about an hour before sending the submarines out to sea. So we've ID'd this submarine here. Let's expand the mine clearance mission. So we're going to do this for about an hour. We start at 8 hours. We're going to send the submarines out at 7 hours to completion time. Okay, so now it's time to send the submarines out. Let's send the North Carolina here, then here. Wait, let's send it here, then here. And let's send the Key West here. And let's send the ASW drones here. Let's do this all at creep as deep as possible. Creep as deep as possible. Creep. Creep. And creep. Creep. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. That's an SSN. So clamor one here, then here. Let's send clamor one here. And let's send clamor one here. Let's actually send it here. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. Yeah, we've ID'd this guy. It's biologic. And let's get the North Carolina to go just under the layer. Let's get North Carolina to go just over the layer. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. That's biologic. Okay. We're seeing the Kilo. Apparently the Kilo sees our anti-mine torpedoes and is running away from them. Funny. It's biologic. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. That's also a biologic. Get the North Carolina go just under the layer. Let's get the Key West to go just over the layer. Okay, so while we're getting the North Carolina and the Key West in position, let's get them to hold their fire. And let's activate the sub-hunt mission. Okay, so the Key West is in position. Let's get both the Key West and the North Carolina to path to the safe zone. And let's get the Key West to go at creep speed and the North Carolina to go at flank. Okay, let's slow down the North Carolina since it's getting in range of that kilo. Let's speed up the Key West. And slow it down. Okay. So the kilo is getting close. Let's fire on it with 2 ad caps from the North Carolina. Okay, the kilo's down. Let's get this ad cap to move here. And let's speed up the North Carolina to flank. So I'm going to... the idea here is to sprint one submarine while the other submarine is drifting, but not letting them get too far apart. And North Carolina is about 3.5 nautical miles away from the Key West. Let's get it down to a creep speed and speed up the Key West to a flank. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. It's pretty maneuverable. It's a nuke boat, so it's obviously hostile. Oh, and we're getting a precise indication of this nuke boat, the Shang. Goblin detected by the North Carolina. Oh, it's a Han. Okay. Okay, let's slow down the Key West, speed up North Carolina. And let's get the North Carolina to just over the layer and the Key West to just under the layer. Oh, we're getting a good fix on this Shang. See, the problem with Chinese submarines is that they don't have towed sonar arrays, so you can just stay on the other side of the layer for them to prevent them from firing on you. Okay. Okay, let's slow down the North Carolina, speed up the Key West. Get the North Carolina to just under the layer. Oh shit. Okay. Torpedoes here. Let's go to side doctrine and tell ourselves to kinematically launch on manual launches only, and tell this guy okay. Get the North Carolina here as deep as possible, flank speed. Get the Key West here as deep as possible, flank speed. Okay, so the torpedoes coming in. Another torpedo detected. Okay, so the Shang is down. Let's get the North Carolina to move here at Creep, and get the Key West to move here at Creep. Okay, so it appears that we've managed to evade those torpedoes. I don't think the fleet classes are going to be so lucky. Get this guy to just under the layer. Get this guy to just over the layer. Okay. Let's get these guys closer together so they can provide mutually supporting arcs of sonar. And let's get the North Carolina to speed up the flank speed. And the torpedoes have run out of the enemy torpedoes have run out of steam. Okay, let's slow down the North Carolina, speed up the Key West. Okay, this Han is really hauling ass. Seems it's seen the Key West, so let's slow down the Key West, speed up the North Carolina. And get the Key West to go just over the layer. Goblin detected by the Key West. It's probably a biologic. Yeah, it's a biologic. Okay, so let's get the Key West to fire at this guy. And get the North Carolina to slow down. Goblins detected by the North Carolina. They're not going very fast. Must be biologics. And get the North Carolina to fire at this guy. This guy's a biologic. We haven't ID'd this guy yet. Oh. I've won. Though I don't think I've really won yet. These guys still haven't gotten to the safe zone. Okay, this guy got ID'd as a biologic. Okay. So move this guy here. And get the North Carolina to go just under the layer and get the Key West to go up to flank speed. So I pretty much wiped out all resistance in the area. I'm just on my victory march now. And that ad cap has run out of steam. Slow down the Key West, speed up the North Carolina. Okay, Key West has gotten to the safe zone. Let's slow it down and speed up the North Carolina. And that was the 1-2 punch. So, I didn't lose anything. China lost a kilo, a hung, and 2 shangs, as well as 9 mines. They also launched 2 torpedoes at us, which is not great. Not bad, but not great. So, yeah. I think that was a fairly successful result. This is Everreg, signing off.